We've started.
We've started. Yay! It has begun. And I just dropped my phone. That's how you know it started.
That's right.
I don't have my shit together yet.
Because things are falling.
How are you doing today?
I'm good.
Yeah?
I'm good. The electricity is temporarily fixed.
Yeah, we had some storms blow through.
Oh shit, the fan's on. Let me turn
is the fan on?
I'll turn it off. I don't know if everybody can hear it, but
Dropping my phones, you're leaving the fan on.
Yeah.
The Kleenex box just dropped to the ground. God damn it. This is just I quit. I can't do this anymore.
So much. So I was doing my research for the next episode.
Yeah.
And which will be the episode before this comes out.
Okay.
Yeah, because we're mixed up on timing, but that's all right.
We're ahead and we're behind in some ways. It's weird.
Sort of.
We're ahead and behind
right
at the same time. Yeah, we're right on time. We make our own time. God damn it.
And so I was doing like research on a haunting.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, like, my lights were flickering, and then the outlets, they have the surge protector in the kitchen, those started clicking, and that was terrifying.
And it's a loud click, too.
It's really loud. Click, 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 click. And then, I was hearing other things turn on and off in other rooms, and I would walk into the room, and our fans, like, the low setting on our fan is super fast normally.
Yeah.
And I would walk in, and it would be going at, like, a slow normal fan pace, and then it would speed up on its own. And I was like, this is not the shit I need when I'm doing research on haunted stuff. This is too haunted.
I'm haunted by the ghost of electricity.
Right. And so I had an electrician come out, and he checked it. And
the dogs lose their fucking mind. It's so cute.
Crazy. It's adorable.
I was very proud of Genji today. Our building was doing a test of the fire alarms, and so they would go off every couple of minutes just for like a beep or two, nothing too prolonged. But the fucking second Genji hears it, he races to the door and looks back like, "Dads, come on, we gotta go. Get your shit together. We gotta go."
Right.
Like, there's a fire. And it's so cute because, like, in the early days, he would just be like, "What the fuck is that noise?" But he now knows, because we've had a few straight up, not drills, but like some asshole would set off a fire alarm, and so everyone would have to evacuate the building for a little bit. So we've had to evacuate with him a couple times since we lived there, and so he knows where to go and what to do, and he's worried for us. And I was like, "Oh, baby, you're such a good boy."
Good.
Points to you for being a little safety dog.
My dogs just attack each other when somebody's there. They're so excited. They want to kill each other. It's very
no,
strange.
I want to kill the person. I want to kill the person. Fine,
well,
you'll
and they're really just like getting off their energy on each other, like they're just playing.
Yeah.
But it sounds like they're trying to kill each other.
I know, it's hysterical.
Yeah.
They're such cute little dogs, but the noises they make when they are play fighting,
it's intense.
It sounds like a fucking gaggle of goblins.
It does, yeah.
Is that the Linnaean term for a group of goblins? Is it a gaggle? I don't think it's a gaggle. I think it's got to be something.
Goblins?
A ghoul of
Maybe? I like that one.
A ghoul of goblins. An embarrassment of goblins. A frightening.
There you go. Let's
a frighten of goblins.
Yeah.
A scare
of goblins. A drool of goblins. So, anyway.
Pardon me. I still sound like my head is made out of... I sound like I've got a fucking Play-Doh factory in my head.
It doesn't sound like that.
Okay.
You hear it that way, but it sounds fine.
The world just sounds different. Everything sounds like I'm underwater right now.
Yeah, you sound maybe a little nasal, but other than that, not.
Okay.
You
if
sound
I sniffle
lovely.
or I make that awful noise,
we'll just edit
you'll just know that.
out.
No, leave it in. Let them know. It's the real me.
I'm not going to do that to other people.
I feel whatever.
The real you is great.
It's called ghoul. It's a ghoul intentions. They should be prepared for stuff like to occasionally get gross. That's Jamie's way. That's Jamie's very polite way of saying no.
Yeah, you're making such lovely points that I will ignore.
Duly noted. Moving on.
Yeah. But anyway, the electricity is now on. We are not in a stuffy room.
Yes.
And the thunderstorm, it seems, has moved. It was really, really intense.
It was really intense. Yeah, we've had storms the past couple of weeks here, but I think it's cleared up for the next few days.
Such a spring.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But it's time for Ghostacles.
It's time for Ghostacles. Are you starting us off?
Yeah.
Who's the first submitter?
First is Mary.
Mary.
Hello again. It's an update.
Oh, yes. I love updates.
I'm so happy y'all enjoyed the spirits in my house and how they react to the podcast. And there is an update since a new me, and since Anew.
A new you.
Oh, I got it. There's an update since Anew, me and my friend Michaela think, demon has popped up in my house. Oh. But first, all three of the ghosts mentioned in my previous story, William, a.k.a. ghost number 1, Zumi, and Charles, not Charlie, loved hearing y'all talk about them.
Oh,
Ghost number 1 has chilled out a little since hearing the episode and picked out a name for themselves. When I was looking for their reaction to see if they were blushing. When I was looking for the reaction to see if they were blushing, sorry, my brain was like, this doesn't make sense. How do you see if a ghost is blushing? I guess it would work if they just look like a person.
They just glow in the dark. I don't know.
My copy of Romeo and Juliet fell off my bookshelf. I went to put it back and it kept falling off. Do you want me to call you Romeo? I asked after the 5th time I picked it up off the ground. As I was knelt down, the Scottish play, which I will say
Smart.
for people who might be, superstitious, was promptly chucked at my face. This was an old copy of the Scottish play, one I stole from my old high school. Old enough that most of Shakespeare's name was worn off, except for William. His name is William now, and he seems content. Zumi has now started kicking my door less hard when he hears the podcast. It started to make small audible sounds like sneezes, chirps, and mews. I know it's him because I will have... Oh, Charles, I skipped a thing. God damn it, Jamie. Read right. Okay. It's more of a tap now when he knocks. Okay.
That's Zumi. Okay.
Charles was very pleased to receive praise from y'all and has started to make audible sounds like sneezes, chirps, and mews. I know it's him because I will have all 3 of my alive cats in view when he makes the sounds, and all 3 of my cats will be asleep or cleaning themselves. I did have to replay all the episodes to find his least favorite episodes, and these were the ones he skipped. How are our egos? Are we ready for this? These are the ones Charles does not like.
Okay, Charles. Everyone's a critic.
It's not all about you, Charles, but we love you. Number 10, a mighty will stands paralyzed. That was our first hysteria one, so that's Peg and Whistle and Amityville.
I was very happy with that.
I was too.
Maybe Charles just doesn't like Amityville, or maybe Charles knows Peg and he's like, I don't like that bitch.
Maybe.
I don't know. I don't know who Charles is.
Episode 22, Maleficia. I know
that's also one of my favorite ones.
I know.
Charles.
24, The Mountains Are Calling. That's the Dyatlov Pass incident and the Oregon Trail. I love that one.
That was a great one, too.
That was really great.
Charles, we respectfully disagree. Explain yourself.
A Thief of Time. That's Skinwalker Ranch, which was fucking awesome.
I don't
know.
My mind. What? Those are Charles just doesn't like our best work.
I know. 27, A Few Lifetimes Old. Past Lives and Men in the Lead Masks. Now, maybe he got sad with the past lives, so maybe he didn't like that one because it got emotional.
Maybe. Do you ever think a ghost listens to a ghost story and goes like, oh, that's bullshit?
Maybe. A Tangled Web, that's 29. That's the Granbury Opera House in San Pedro.
Well, there's a lot of these he doesn't like.
I know. That's it. Okay.
I'm going to say, like, God, I thought it was going to be like 2 or 3, and it's like a whole list. God. Okay, well, duly noted, Charles.
Goodness. We still feel strongly that we love those, Charles. You're entitled to your opinion, even if it's wrong. So, new demon. He's fucking creepy. My friend Michaela happened to see him first in my mom's room, where my bed is placed. If you sit in the middle of it and look out of my room, you can see into her room. The only light in the house at this time was in my room, since the 2 of us were up and watching the YouTubes like the youth do. My mother was passed out on the couch, since she is a saint and insists that my friend Michaela sleeps in her room. And my grandfather was asleep. I have to turn the page and it won't turn. Okay.
Chime.
Okay, grandfather was asleep in his room. She is a saint.
Wow.
I would never leave my bed for one of the girls' friends. Ever.
No.
Your mother's a saint.
Or that bedroom's terrifying and she's like, no, let your friend sleep up there.
Or 2 kids staying the night. The couch is closer to the bar.
Oh, yeah, point. Fair.
Maybe. Anyway, at about 3 a.m., the witching hour, Michaela grabs my arm tightly and starts shaking me. After prying her off and asking her what's wrong, she points to my mom's room. We both freeze and see a figure peeling around the corner looking at us.
Ooh.
They looked like a cross between the Babadook, the dark half of Monokuma, shout out, and No Face from Spirited Away. At first, I didn't think it was something supernatural.
There's a lot of elements in that.
I know. I know. At first, I didn't think it was something supernatural, and I lunged for one of my softball bats. Michaela got distracted by my sudden action, and I told her to get ready to call the police. When we turned back to the doorway, no one was there. Stupidly, I crept into that room with my bat drawn. I searched the whole house, and no one was there. Once it hit 5 a.m. and we were both too tired to be scared, I made her go to sleep in that room so I could sleep before a Dungeons & Dragons game that would be happening that morning. She survived and isn't harboring a demon, we think. This demon only stays in my mother's door, This demon only stays in my mother's doorway, though, as I've caught it staring at me and her in the early hours of the morning or in the darkest of night. They haven't made any other effort of interacting with us, and we haven't tried talking to it either. He's fucking creepy. Anyway, that's my update for y'all. I promise when I get around.
Shy.
I know. I have a theory. I promise.
I feel like it's unfair to assume he's a demon.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm not experiencing it for myself, so I'm not there, so I can't say. But I'm like, it seems like.
Well, and he's
seems a little
representing himself as a different types of things that you recognize, especially with the anime side of things being included. That's so specific. That it seems like maybe he's showing something that it thinks you'll recognize because you watch those things. You must like those things.
Yeah.
So perhaps it's presenting itself in a way.
And that may also be just like the anime stuff, just maybe her only point of reference for what he looks like.
That's true too.
Or it looks like naturally.
Associating.
Yeah.
But I feel like, number one, that running into demons is not nearly as common as people think it is. And number two, you would think that it wouldn't be so shy. It wouldn't just be like staring from a distance. I think it's just something that...
Yeah, I think the criteria for a demon has to be like a lot worse. Like it's got to be like aggressive, like it's trying to fuck things up. And even then, it's like, is it a demon? What makes it a demon? Is it a thing? Like, I don't know. Because sometimes
looking creepy too.
Sometimes maybe a ghost can just be an asshole.
That's true.
A violent asshole. There are those. They're on record.
And sometimes, because this isn't even violent. It's not. It's just creepy. Creeping you out because it looks creepy, but that may not mean.
Well, I hope it doesn't escalate.
Me too.
I hope it stays. Maybe
Me too.
I hope
that you're wrong and it's not a demon. I hope it's just a shy ghost or a spirit.
Have Charles talk to it. And see what he says.
Yeah. Yeah, how do the cats react to that, I wonder? Anyway, I promise when I get around to submitting again, it will be some haunted pet resort tea and some other haunted jobs I've had.
Haunted pet resort.
Have a drink on me. Love y'all.
Yay!
We will.
All right, well, mine comes from Sari. And Sari says, hey, so last year my friends and I moved from our university halls into a student house, which coincidentally used to be an old person's residential home a few years beforehand in Plymouth, UK. So a few days into moving, one of my friends that had the larger room on the ground floor started having her clock knocked off the wall every day whilst she was at lectures. People don't use the whilst enough.
Sounds British, so that makes
very British.
Sense, yeah.
We didn't think anything of it and started to all joke that we had a ghost in the house that didn't like her decorating. Maybe. We named the ghost Lucy. However, after about 2 months, more things started to get knocked off the walls, such as the posters in the living room and the larger clock in the hallway. Oh, someone doesn't like to be reminded what time it is.
I guess. It is not Flava Flav. We know that. Also, he's alive, but...
Yeah, well, his career is another story. But anyways, we also started to hear faint footsteps up and down the main stairway, which at first we thought was just each other because there are 8 of us, so it's easy to blame another housemate.
Right.
The house is also detached on one side, so no noisy neighbors. But... she wrote it out. B-U-U-U-U-T. If you go to the bathroom on the first floor at night, you can hear very faint footsteps or a shuffling, like someone's outside, even though the only way in and out is through the heavy fire doors. Believe me, you'd be able to hear if anybody had walked into the hallway past the toilet because of the loud slam the doors make when they close, which is a little freaky at 2 a.m. I don't think I've peed faster in my life.
Huh.
Well, good thing you're in the bathroom.
That's right.
We often mention Lucy around the house, and when we're all together, however, she's yet to do anything more than this, which I can't say I'm mad about. We all feel as though it's like having a 9th housemate. Hopefully she stays nice, as we've decided to renew the house for our 3rd year starting in September. Let's hope she considers us good housemates for another year and approves of the new decorating to come.
Yeah, I hope so. And also that if anything happens, you tell us everything.
Yes, please.
That's great. Man, 8 people.
That's a lot of.
I mean,
that's a lot of housemates.
Yeah, Lucy's
that's like a reality
one thing,
TV
but
show.
Shit, that's like, real world.
Give me a
stuff.
ghost over like too many roommates. I used to live in a house, not a house. I lived in a townhome for a very brief summer with a guy I was dating at the time, and there were 7 people in that house.
No.
And 9 cats.
No.
Kittens included. It was hell on earth.
It sounds
like a ghost would have been a nice distraction. A ghost, I'm like, oh, at least you don't take up space per se.
Yeah. Wow.
I'm like, oh, hey, a cold spot, a blessed cold spot in a house where the AC doesn't work because there's so many people in it that it's just always hot.
Yeah. Oh God.
It was awful. It was awful.
Too many people for me.
I loved the people I was living with. They were very nice, but I wanted to continue loving them, so I left.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I think at some point too, we all get old enough to realize that that's too many people.
As you get older, I think your sense of personal space enlarges. Mm-hmm. Like I need
some elbow room.
When I was a kid, I would tuck myself in anywhere, going, "Oh yeah, that's fine. I'll just disappear here, crowd of people." But now I'm like, no, you stand a block away, or I feel if someone's 5 feet away looking at me, I feel like what?
Yeah, way too close. Okay, so the next one we have is Peter. This is a short one, but it's one I think of every time I get the feeling someone's watching me. It's not that short, just for the record. When I was about 16, my best friend at the time moved into a trailer park that was just a short walk from a lake. Of course, the short walk happened to be a trail in the woods. Most of the people who owned the houses by the lake hadn't come back for the summer yet, and she took me to one of the vacant houses whose owners weren't expected back until midsummer. Mm. I was raised by a strict grandmother and was kind of a stickler for the rules, so I was very nervous about trespassing.
You don't go into other people's homes without their consent.
It's not their home, it's just the yard, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Even that's a little, that's toeing the line.
Yeah. Before even getting near the water, I circled the house a few times to make sure no one was there. So it seems like they were just
in the yard, like in the area.
Close to the water, since it was up on that.
All right, well that's not...
It was a great spot to dive into the water, I assume.
As long as they're respecting the property.
Yes. I realized that from the deck and water surrounding it, if anyone walked up to the house, they'd easily be able to spot us. But my friend assured me by pointing out that also meant we'd easily be able to see if anyone approached the house or lake. Besides, according to her, she'd been to this exact spot at least half a dozen times already undetected.
It's like, people will see us, not if we see them first.
That's right.
It's more like, people will see us. And we'll see them at the same time. And what are they going to do? Tell us to fucking leave because it's their house?
Right. I mean, grand scheme, worst case scenario, guys leave. Okay.
Right.
I mean, but I love the idea of a kid being
That's not the worst case scenario. Worst case scenario is it's like one of those crazy people that are like, get off my lawn, and they just come out guns blazing immediately.
Right. Texas, stand your ground. Florida, stand your ground. They just kill you right then and there. That's true. But realistically, it's going to be it's
probably going to be someone going, get the fuck, get out of here.
That's my duck. That's my dock, wherever it was.
Dock.
We stayed and swam and talked and laid out on the bank until the sun began to set. My unease had completely melted away at this point. We decided we should go ahead and head home before we lost all our light. Yeah, and then you have to walk through the forest in the dark. No, thank you. That was when my unease returned. The hairs on the back of my neck and arms stood up. I suddenly felt nauseated. We hadn't heard or seen anyone approach the house, but someone was watching us. I quickly looked at the house and gasped. A corner of the curtain in the back window had been turned up and the face of a woman was looking out. Except she wasn't exactly a woman. She was incomplete somehow, more shadow than person. I felt fingernails clutching at my wrist and knew my friend had seen her too. We turned to look at each other and then turned back, and though the curtain was still turned up, the curtain I am positive was closed when I checked the house earlier, the face was gone. We scrambled to grab our things and, still holding hands, ran for the trail. Clutching each other, we quickly made our way through the woods, the feeling that we were not alone, so strong and undeniable. My friend chanting, "Don't look back, don't look back, don't look back," the entire way. And we did not.
You're not helping, back. Sharon. Oh, God.
Yeah, that's a good one. Oh, that's good. That's creepy. I have goosebumps.
Oh, freaky. Chicken skin.
And you got to run through the forest. the darkening forest after seeing something.
Nope.
How do you know that thing could just follow you?
And here's the thing, kids. When you're in the forest, you're not alone. I don't care whether it's haunted or not. You're not alone. There's other things in there with you.
Yep.
And they may not be so happy that you're there. This is from M.
Hey
y'all, it's your friendly neighborhood M who sent in the Humming Ghost Girl story back with season 2 as requested. Or she's back with season 2 as requested, she says. It took me a second to be like, what?
That for people who don't know, she's she was on Skype, right? And then she heard humming in the corner. And yeah.
I think the easiest way to preface the story is to say that preface. Am I saying it right?
Preface, yeah.
I feel like I'm saying it wrong. I think the easiest way to preface the story... there we go.
I mean, I don't know. I say tour words, so...
No, it's preface. I know how to say it. I felt like I was saying it wrong, like preface. I was adding another R in there.
I think I know why I say tour words, by the way. What? Forwards. Tour words. I think that's.
I mean, it makes sense. I get there's a logic to how you're saying it.
I'm too old to change.
It's still wrong, but
it's wrong. Oh no, I'm aware of it. I've accepted it. I'm not changing.
It's a quirk of yours. It's a charming eccentricity.
Thank you.
It's like me and my obsession with 17th century counterpoint. I think the easiest way to preface this story is to say that it felt like when you were a little kid, afraid of the dark.
What's counterpoint?
It's a kind of musical. It's composition, composition, musical.
All right.
So it's a way of writing music the way they used to do in the time of Bach and Palestrina and a lot of guys that you can see. You're giving me this look. I wish you could see the look. Just give me this look like, yeah. This is why it took you so long to find your soulmate, Michael. And you're not wrong.
You met yours before I met mine.
Yeah, well, yeah, but that's because people are afraid of a strong woman.
Sure.
No one's afraid of a guy that studies 17th century counterpoint. So that was not my issue.
Right.
Anyway, so you felt like there was something lurking, waiting to get at you any given moment, but you had no idea what it was. That's the sense of unease, whatever this was gave me. Now, my room is not very big. The apartment is 1.5 rooms, and, well, you can guess who got stuck with the half room. The light is right next to the door. I guess she means the switch, as they should be, but walking to get into bed, though not far, is like walking halfway into the room. I'm not sure when it started happening, but one night, as I turned off my light to go to bed, something told me not to move. My attention turned to a corner, coincidentally the corner opposite the giggling ghost girl that made me feel safe. And though I couldn't see anything, I felt a lot. I felt uneasy, like something was moving in that corner, but it vanished as soon as I turned on the light. Now, the issue was my light is too bright, and I couldn't sleep with it on, so I also had no smaller light or anything of that sort at the time to use as a safety net. Being much too tired, I did what half of us do and hop-dove right into my bed as soon as I turned off the light. Totally been there. Because
so
who has the time?
Lamp.
But if you didn't think to have it on, I lost my place. I hop-dove into my bed as soon as I turned on the light, because who has time to worry about the unknown in the darkness when you're ready to go to bed, right?
I do. I always have that kind of time.
Yeah, lucky. I think the strangest part is, despite how anxious and uneasy it made me feel, despite how I could feel it shift when I did, it never actually got any closer. Matter of fact, it never moved from that corner at all. It had gotten to a point where when I was ready to go to bed, I groaned to myself thinking I'd have to deal with whatever was there giving me the creepies. But then at some point, I'd turn off my light, and the feeling was gone. No unease, no anxiousness, no feeling of something stirring in the corner, nothing. Whatever it was just gone. It was probably the biggest relief to finally be able to go to my room at night and sleep in peace. But my stories aren't over. I'll have another story for you next time. That's a little more on the humorous side, so I hope you'll look forward to it.
We do. We do. Loving the updates.
Evil corner. I love that it's opposite the good corner.
Right.
There's no laughter in that corner.
There's the good corner. There's the bad corner.
There's the corner that has light.
There's the bed corner. And it's a small room. Mm-hmm. It's a busy room.
This is a very busy room. But
yeah.
I've done that, though, so many times when I was a kid. Like, sometimes, so our bedroom, it's held now. So our bedroom, we have blackout curtains. So when the light's off, it is, and I have my clock on, I have the light on the clock off. Like, there's a little dimmer switch on it. And so that room is fucking dark because Brandon can't sleep. I mean, he's a fucking vampire. He can't sleep unless, if there's even a hint of light anywhere. And
that apparently is what it's like when you don't have anxiety.
What? Is that what?
Yeah, that's how I found out that I had anxiety. Like, I was talking to my therapist, and she was talking about like signs of anxiety, and there's like the leg shaking and fidgeting, and I'm not like that. My whole entire family is, so I've always been like,
you're not fidgety at all.
Yeah, they're super fidgety. So I always thought they were the anxious ones, and in comparison, they are.
They're anxious with the capital A, and you just have anxiety sometimes.
I'm just pretty anxious. So she was like, there's things like, the fidgeting, the this, the that, sleeping with the lights off. And she kept going on. I was like, I'm sorry, what? And she was like,
sleeping with the lights off.
Yeah. She's like, do you need a nightlight? Can you sleep with the lights completely off? And I was like, no. And she said, well, how long has that been happening? And I said, my entire life.
That's not a sign of anxiety. That's just a sign you don't want to stub your fucking toe on something if you have to get to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night.
Yeah, no, it's because
I've done it 100 times.
Because you can turn the light on when you're going to the bathroom.
Well, not if you're sleeping next to someone who you don't want to wake up.
Right, but that's, if I'm by myself, if I'm with somebody,
so what's the nightlight? What's the nightlight do? I wonder.
It keeps the ghosts and the monsters away, obviously. Just like covering your face with a blanket. And also, if there's something there, I need to be able to see it so I can flee.
I'm going to disagree with you there, and I may be feeding into your anxiety, and I don't want to do that. But to me, not having a light on means I can't see anything, and if I can't see it, it's not there.
Yeah.
If the light's on, stuff casts shadow, and I'll be like, oh, it's like if there's a light. Like, it's kind of like, okay, so when our friend Devin is over and he sleeps on the couch, the same principle. Like, there's that big fucking witch doll that I keep next to the couch, which is lovely. And he's the one that doesn't like it, but I'm like, do you want me to move it? He's like, no, because if you move it and I'm going to wake up and find her there, it's going to be really freaky. Yeah. So he's like, it's already freaky, whatever. So for me, having the nightlight means like, well, if I wake up and it's off, something's wrong. If I wake up and it's just a light in the room means there's something for whatever it is to manipulate, so I know it's there. If it's dark, there's nothing they can do.
Right, but there's also the other part of having a light on is if somebody in real life is in your room, you can see them immediately and run away. Now,
but they can see you too because there's a light.
I know.
If it's totally dark, then you're both you're at the advantage because you know your room and they don't, and they're blind too.
If someone is coming into your room to whatever, they're gonna know. They're gonna have.
I guess so. Maybe. I'm just saying.
The leg up.
I think I'm not disagreeing with the assessment. I'm just saying that I must be the exception to the rule because I think I sleep in total darkness because of anxiety.
Right. Yeah. No.
I can't. And nightlights make me anxious. That's how bad I am.
Well, and it's not like. I mean, it would be like I would leave the bathroom light on.
Yeah.
It wasn't a small amount.
I can't do that. Because I can't go to, my thing is I can't sleep unless it's there's no light at all. And Brandon's the same way. And I cannot sleep if a door's open or unlocked. So I have to check the front door multiple times before bed.
That's
and
anxiety.
Brandon can go do it for me and be like, yeah, it's locked. I'm like, I have to check it, or I need the muscle memory of knowing I did it, or I won't be able to sleep. Even though it's like I trust you and I know you did it, but my body is like, but I didn't touch the lock, so I'm not going to buy it. And I have to and if there's a light on, I don't know. If there's a light on, it freaks me out because I'm waiting for something to walk in front of it.
Right.
And I hate
me too, so I can get ready. It's just a different perspective of it.
Maybe I'm just more defeatist. I'm like, if it's here, just let it take me. And just I don't want to know. I'm not going to outrun it. I'm fucking.
But it's that whole thing when you're a kid, you need the light on when your parents aren't.
That's true. I did need it. For me, it was more a noise thing, though. I didn't need a nightlight so much as I always slept best when, as a kid, and my parents, of course, were still up for several hours after they put us down. I slept best if my mom was grading papers in the kitchen because she used a typewriter. And so this fucking old electric typewriter that was clack, 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 ping, and that, man, I could sleep like a baby.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Noise. I knew that I was making major progress when I could sleep with the lights off. Now I can.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, if I'm by myself, I can sleep with the lights off, which is a big deal. But if I'm
the more you know.
At a hotel, I usually will turn a little bit of a light on because I'll wake up and be like, where the fuck am I? And it's like, if there's a light on, I immediately can be like, oh, I'm at a hotel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's rare for me. There's always a light though for me. It's rare to be in a hotel that there's no light coming in from under the door, or they rarely have blackout curtains. Our curtains at home are blackout curtains. There's no fucking light gets through at all. From the outside, it looks like we have a meth lab.
Right. That's right.
We don't, I would like to assure everyone.
No meth.
But we just keep the sun out. So, like, we have, like, shit all over the windows to keep the sun from coming in. And it's glorious.
Oh, yeah. There's a little bit, because we have blackout curtains too, but the light still comes through the top and the bottom of the curtains. So
Yeah,
just the
ours
top,
is like,
really.
it's total darkness. Even pretty much during, like, in the height of the day, like, you can go in there and be like, okay, this is dark. So it's great if you need to get a nap. Like, Brandon does a lot of studying about, like, sleep habits and stuff. It's kind of an obsession of his, and warranted, because he didn't sleep very well as a child. So as growing up, like, he's like, I'm going to, like, scientifically get better sleep now that I'm in control of when I go to bed and
Right.
all this stuff. And so he found, like, it really messes. Artificial light can screw up your circadian rhythms and all this other stuff. So we get pretty good sleep because of all the things he's done. I don't know it's any of it's anxiety based for him, but for me, I'm like, no, I need noise and I need darkness.
Yeah.
I can't have. I should experiment. I might be able to sleep in a room that has a light on if there's no noise. But I can't. Light and noise. It's too much. I get overstimulated very easily.
Right.
And so I'm like, I don't like that light. That light's going to happen. It's going to go. The light just gives me something to focus on. And if I can focus on something, I'll fucking worry about it. That's just how my mind works.
Yeah. I'll do just white noise. Like we do rain, thunderstorm sounds, stuff like that. But I did have a really hard time doing no light and earplugs.
Oh, I can't do earplugs.
Oh my God, completely isolated, certain death. That's what it always felt like. It was like, I'm going to die at any moment because I cannot see or hear what's going on.
Yeah. I think that's what the sound does for me. Like, the sound orients me in an otherwise dark room. So I don't feel like, it's not a sensory deprivation tank. That it's like, okay, I know where I am because there's the filter. We have a filter that makes like a nice humming noise, and it's always in one corner. So I'm like, okay, as long as that, like, I know where I am in relation to it. So I'm like, I'm echolocating.
Right. You're a bat.
I'm learning all sorts of things about myself today, just talking this out. This is great.
Yeah.
I hope you guys learned some too.
That's right. And if you have anxiety, sorry. I didn't know I had anxiety either.
I hope I haven't turned anyone off of using a nightlight by saying what I said. I'm really sorry if I've given you a reason to fear a nightlight now. But if something happens, please send it in. Let us know.
Let us know what your anxiety is too. It'd be interesting. I think if we're all sharing, it makes it easier.
Right.
But yeah, that was my big thing. That's how I knew I had anxiety. And then all of the other stuff was like, oh yeah, I've got a lot of fucking anxiety. Who knew?
Yeah. I have a lot of anxiety.
Yeah.
I have anxiety about weird things, and things that make other people anxious don't make me anxious at all.
I know, it really
but things
works out
that
for
make
us.
no one anxious make me anxious. I feel like I'm collecting all the anxieties that don't get enough play.
Yeah. Right. Well, it's good. It balances us out.
Right, I suppose.
So yeah, send us your stories. We love them. You guys are awesome.
We love the updates.
More ghost stories, anxiety stories. Why not?
Let us know what Charles thinks of the latest episodes.
Let's see. And, maybe fucking have him be positive and tell us what he likes for once.
Yeah, we could.
Besides me, of course. Thank you, Charles. Thank you so much.
Website. Buy stuff if you want. If you do, take a picture yourself.
Review things.
Submit stories. And
be awesome.
Continue being you guys.
That's right.
We love you.
Oh, and remember, it's okay to sleep with the lights on.
Unless you're me. We're going to the opera on Saturday.
Fuck you.
Brandon and I. And I really wanted to go buy a new outfit for it. And I haven't had time because I've been sick. And so I'm going to have to wear an outfit to the opera that I wore last time.
Oh, that's so embarrassing.
I'm mortified. I'm
going to go to a funeral, and so I'll be wearing the first time I've ever worn that outfit that I have yet to buy to that funeral. So
it's much the same experience going to the opera and going to a funeral.
Except you're more sad at the opera.
Depends.